Hey there, folks. If you're the kind of man who empties his pockets at the end of the day and throws spare change into a jar, you might want to go dig through that jar right now. Because sitting in there, mixed in with the usual pocket lint and pennies that seem worth next to nothing, could be a tiny copper treasure worth $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple Lincoln penny from 1985, stamped with a little D under the date, that's Denver Mint, could make you a millionaire. Stick with me, because this is no coin collector fairy tale. This is a real story, backed by real market numbers and eye-popping auction prices. And we're going deep into what makes one humble penny from 1985 command such a staggering price in today's market. But before we break it all down, I have one question for you. Have you ever unknowingly held a fortune in your hand? Because by the end of this video, you might discover you already have. Let's start at the beginning. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, marking Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Over the decades, it became the coin every American recognized, carried, and often ignored, but within that ordinary coin run, certain years stand out. Some because of errors. Some because of mint marks. Some because of sheer rarity. And the 1985 D penny? It's got a little bit of all three. 1985 might seem like a dull year in the coin world. No redesigns. No big minting events. But it's often in the quiet years that the most valuable secrets are buried. Now here's the kicker. This coin was made at the Denver Mint, known for pumping out billions of coins. And yet, only a tiny handful of these pennies have shocked the world with their value. To understand why this penny is worth so much, we've got to talk about errors, rarity, and demand. Let's take them one by one. The errors. Several known examples of the 1985 D penny have serious minting mistakes. We're talking about things like double dies, off-center strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it was accidentally pressed on a different kind of metal blank. Imagine a penny struck on a dime's planchet. Thinner. Lighter. Instantly rare. Condition. Most pennies, especially those from the 80s, were beat up in circulation. But the few that survived in pristine condition, called MS-67 or higher in grading terms, have become legendary. One such 1985 D penny was recently auctioned for just under $1 million. Another private collector turned down an offer of $1 million, hoping it will reach $1.5 million next time. Demand. The market for rare pennies has exploded in recent years. Baby boomers, Gen Zers, even younger collectors have driven prices through the roof. Why? Because rare coins are not only nostalgic, they're tangible assets. And a coin like the 1985 D penny? It's the kind of trophy piece that collectors dream about. Keep watching. I'm about to walk you through exactly what to look for. Go grab a magnifying glass. Or better yet, grab that old coin jar first. Check the date, it must be 1985. Then, just beneath the year, you should see a tiny D, that's the Denver Mint mark. Now here's where things get exciting. Look closely at Lincoln's eye and ear. Some rare varieties show signs of doubling. This means the die used to stamp the coin had a slight shift, creating a doubled image. Then check the rim of the coin. Is it perfectly round? Any signs that it's off-center or missing parts of the design? That's a strong sign of a misstrike and potentially huge value. Lastly, inspect the color and shine. A coin that still gleams like new and has no scratches or wear could be in mint state condition. Coins graded MS-67 or better? That's where the real money lies. Hold that thought. We're getting to it. But first, let's talk stories. Let me tell you about Gary, a retired mechanic from Nebraska. One afternoon, while cleaning out his workbench drawer, he found an old Altoids tin filled with change. In it? A shiny 1985 D penny. It looked nearly flawless. Curious, he took it to a local coin shop. They sent it off for grading. The result? MS-68 red, near perfect. 3 months later, Gary sold it at auction for $985,000. He used the money to pay off his mortgage, buy a new truck, and take his grandkids on a cross-country RV trip. Then there's Michael from Arizona. He found his 1985 D while sorting through coins with his grandson. His had a doubled die and some unusual markings. That coin brought in $1.1 million from a private collector in 2024. These aren't urban legends. These are real men, real coins, and real money. First, don't clean it. Ever. Wiping or polishing a coin can destroy its value. Even fingerprints can knock down the grade. Second, store it safely. Use a soft cloth or plastic coin flip to keep it safe from damage. Third, get it evaluated by a reputable dealer. There are trustworthy coin shops and services like PCGS or NGC that will grade your coin and provide authentication. You've got options. You can hold on to it, let the value climb, or sell it at auction. Sites like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers regularly deal with coins just like this. You've got to act smart and fast. Because the more time passes, the harder it becomes to find these coins in top condition. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore, it's a wealth strategy. For men aged 30 to 70, many of whom grew up with change in their pockets and payphones on every corner, there's something powerful about turning a penny into prosperity. Whether you're retired, working part-time, or just looking for a side hustle, coin hunting can be a real source of income and fun. You'd be amazed how many coins are still sitting in jars, drawers, glove compartments, and couch cushions. And the 1985 D penny? That's just one of many that could change your life, but there's one final twist you need to hear. Some experts believe there are less than 10 high-grade 1985 D pennies left in circulation. That means the chances are slim, but not impossible. One of those could be in your home right now. You just haven't looked yet. So don't wait. Tonight, after dinner, pour out that coin jar. Flip through your pocket change. Ask your parents if they've got an old stash of coins in a box in the attic. Look through your junk drawer. You never know what's hiding in plain sight, because one small penny that you thought was worthless could be your golden ticket to a brand new life. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more insider coin knowledge. We've got a lot more rare finds to talk about, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. What if I told you that an ordinary looking penny sitting in your old coin jar or tucked away in your junk drawer could be worth over $1 million? You heard that right. A 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, something you may have spent without a second thought, could be the golden ticket to a luxurious retirement, a brand new truck, or even a beachfront home. The kind of coin collectors dream about, and yet, most people don't even know it exists. Stick around, because in today's video, we're diving deep into the mysterious, jaw-dropping world of the 1994 no mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny. We're talking rarity, value, hidden signs, real stories from collectors, and exactly how you can check if you have one of these million-dollar beauties hiding in plain sight. And trust me, you do not want to miss what we uncover at the 28-minute mark. It could change your life. Let's rewind the clock to 1994. Bill Clinton was president, gasoline was just over $1 a gallon, and the Lion King was king of the box office. Pennies? Well, they were just pennies. Nobody thought twice about them. But here's the twist: during that same year, a batch of Lincoln pennies rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, and some of them weren't just ordinary errors. They were absolute treasures in disguise. You might be wondering, what's the big deal about not having a mint mark? Most Philadelphia minted coins don't show one. True, but these rare 1994 no mint mark pennies weren't just missing the mark, they had striking oddities, flawless details, and near-perfect conditions that sent collectors into a frenzy once they surfaced. And here's where things start heating up. A penny is worth 1 cent. Unless it isn't. So, how does a 1994 no mint mark penny climb all the way to a $1.1 million valuation? It comes down to 4 key factors: rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector demand. Let's start with rarity. Experts estimate only a handful of these 1994 no mint mark memorial pennies with specific die characteristics exist in high grades like MS67 or higher. That's fewer than the number of luxury yachts parked in Beverly Hills. We're talking ultra rare. Then there's condition. Coins graded MS67 or higher, which means mint state, are in such pristine shape they practically shine like they were minted yesterday. Add in a unique die error or extra sharpness in Lincoln's profile or the lettering, and you've got something that collectors will pay 6 or even 7 figures for. And next is historical buzz. This was a time of high mintage and rapid coin circulation. Finding something flawless from that batch is like spotting a diamond in a sandbox. And finally, demand. As more collectors enter the hobby and coin investing becomes more mainstream, the competition for top-tier specimens is driving values into the stratosphere. But there's a twist coming in a minute that changes everything you thought you knew about your old coin stash. First, check the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just smooth space under the date. That's your starting point. Next, examine the detail on Lincoln's face. On the rarest 1994 specimens, the detail is razor sharp. Look for crisp lines on his coat and beard. Now flip it over. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial should be perfectly centered, with all the steps visible. No wear, no damage. The sharper the detail, the higher the value. Also keep an eye out for doubling, where letters or numbers appear slightly overlapped or shadowed. That's a minting error and could multiply the value even more. And here's where it gets really interesting. There was a retired Navy veteran from Michigan who went through his grandson's coin collection one weekend. He spotted an uncirculated 1994 penny with no mint mark and decided to get it graded. Turns out, it was an MS-68 with a doubled die reverse. It sold at auction for over $1.10 million. He almost threw it into a Coinstar machine the day before another man in Florida, who'd been metal detecting for years, unearthed a 1994 penny he thought was junk. After getting it evaluated, it became one of only 3 known in that condition. He paid for his daughter's college tuition with that single coin. Stories like these aren't just good luck, they're proof that these coins are out there. So how do you make sure you're not missing out on $1 million payday? If you think you've got something special, don't just throw it on eBay for $20. Step 1. Handle it with care. Use gloves. Oils from your skin can drop the value instantly. Get it professionally graded. The 2 top grading services in the US are PCGS and NGC. For a small fee, they'll give you an official grade-in certificate that tells buyers you're the real deal. And here's the kicker: a penny that might sell for $200 raw could be worth $200,000 or more if it gets a certified MS-67 or higher from PCGS. But remember, timing is everything. At the end of this video, I'll tell you exactly when to sell for maximum profit and when to hold. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbauers are hotbeds for rare coin sales. They cater to serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. You can also consider reputable online marketplaces like Great Collections or eBay if your coin is certified and you're comfortable setting a reserve. And don't forget about private collectors. There are high-end buyers who specifically collect error coins or Lincoln Memorials, and some will pay in cash for the right penny. One private buyer recently paid $1.1 million for a 1994 no mint mark penny in MS-68 red, sight unseen, just to add it to his exclusive penny portfolio. We'll answer that next. But first, let me hit you with something that'll change how you see every penny from now on. The 1994 penny isn't alone. There are others, and they're hiding in plain sight: the 1982 no mint mark penny, the 1995 doubled die, the 1969s with doubling so rare it's considered mythical. Many of these coins have already been found by everyday folks like you. Retired electricians, grandfathers digging through old piggy banks, even teenagers searching through coin rolls from the bank. One of the most valuable penny coins ever sold wasn't discovered by a collector, but by a janitor who found it under a vending machine. But more on that in our next video. You could be holding the key to a fortune and not even know it. That 1994 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, worth $1.1 million, isn't just a legend. It's real. It's documented. And it might be in your hands right now. Go check your stash. Pull out your change jar. Look at your coin collection again with fresh eyes. And if you spot something special, don't wait, because opportunities like this don't knock twice. The coin market is hot, and serious buyers are waiting. That penny you've overlooked for 30 years could be the very thing that changes your financial future. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like and subscribe. We've got more incredible coin stories coming your way: rare nickels, $1 million quarters, and shocking finds from average Americans just like you. And don't forget to check out our next video, where we reveal the rare Lincoln penny found under a couch cushion that just sold for over $2 million. It's time to stop spending your pennies and start inspecting them. Gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever held a penny in your hand, looked at it, and tossed it aside like pocket change? Well, you might want to think twice next time, because the penny I'm about to talk about, the 1973 D Lincoln Memorial penny, could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. One tiny copper coin hiding in your jar, toolbox, glove compartment, or even under your couch cushion, could be your ticket to life-changing wealth. So before you throw away your shot at becoming a coin millionaire, stick around. Because in this video, we're going deep into what makes this ordinary looking penny so rare, so valuable, and so incredibly powerful. By the end of this, you're going to be flipping every single penny in your house. The year was 1973. Gas was cheap, Elvis was still rocking, and the US Mint in Denver was striking billions of Lincoln pennies. Now most of them were just regular copper coins. Billions were minted. But, as with all things in life, mistakes happen. And sometimes, those mistakes are worth a fortune. The 1973 D Lincoln penny carries the Denver Mint mark, that little d right beneath the date. But what makes a handful of these coins worth over $1 million isn't what you see at first glance. It's what you don't see, and what collectors and experts have been hunting for decades. We're talking about minting errors, doubling, planchet mistakes, and material anomalies that slipped past quality control and into circulation. And right now, someone watching this video might just have one of those ultra-rare, $1 million mistakes sitting quietly in a coffee can. Just wait. We're only scratching the surface, and now, let's break down the $1 million mystery. Not every 1973 D penny is valuable. In fact, most of them are worth exactly 1 cent. So what sets the $1.2 million one apart? First, rare errors. Some 1973 D pennies were struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being struck on a copper penny blank, they were accidentally struck on blanks meant for dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins. These errors are not only extremely rare, but almost impossible to duplicate. Also known as a doubled die. This happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts ever so slightly, imprinting 2 overlapping images. When this happens on the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's profile, it becomes incredibly valuable to collectors. There are also off-center strikes, die cracks, and even struck-through debris errors that create one-of-a-kind pieces. And finally, condition. The closer a coin is to perfect mint condition, the more valuable it becomes. You might be thinking, I wouldn't know an error if it bit me. Well, hold tight, we're going to show you exactly what to look for. But before that, let me tell you a little story. Because this next part could happen to you. Jim was a retired machinist from Colorado. Quiet guy. Lived a modest life. Collected coins casually, nothing fancy. Just a hobby he picked up in his 50s to pass the time. One day, Jim is sorting through his coin jar, rolling pennies while watching baseball. He notices a 1973 D penny that looked off. The color was slightly different. The lettering seemed thicker. And the rim was slightly misaligned. He decides to take it to a coin show the following weekend, thinking maybe it's worth a few bucks. Jim's penny was struck on an aluminum planchet, something that was never meant to happen in Denver that year. That tiny error made his coin one of the rarest known Lincoln pennies in existence, and when it hit auction, it sold for over $1.20 million. Jim, the machinist from Colorado, became an overnight millionaire. All because the next Jim could be you. Look for a clear 1973 with a visible D underneath. If the D looks doubled, faint, or out of place, that's a sign of value. A normal 1973 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it's significantly lighter, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly aluminum or foreign metal. Check for doubling on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. Use a magnifying glass or loupe, look for cracks, off-center strikes, or missing design elements that flip the coin. On the Lincoln Memorial, are there any missing columns? Any ghosting, fading, or doubling? That could make all the difference. And now, don't panic if your coin isn't perfect. Even moderate errors can fetch hundreds or thousands at auction. A lot of people stop checking too soon, and that brings us to something most people overlook completely. There's a hidden economy behind rare coins, especially pennies. Auction houses like Heritage, Stacksbowers, and Great Collections specialize in high-end sales of rare US coins. And they're constantly looking for pieces like the 1973 D Lincoln penny with known and unknown errors. In fact, one anonymous bidder recently paid over $1.2 million for a 1973 D penny purely because it had a unique reverse die break, something so subtle most people would never catch. That coin was submitted by a 67-year-old Vietnam veteran from Arkansas who had found it in his change from a gas station decades earlier. He kept it in an old medicine bottle for years. Let that sink in. Your next $1 million could be sitting in an aspirin bottle. Now let's talk about how to properly handle and sell a potential jackpot coin without getting ripped off. And never clean your coin. Use gloves or the edge of a soft cloth. Any cleaning will reduce its value dramatically. Invest in a small digital scale. It could be the difference between 1 cent and $1 million. Look up reference images from trusted numismatic websites. Find photos of known 1973D errors and match them, send it to PCGS or NGC, two of the most trusted grading companies. They'll certify it, grade it, and possibly help you sell it. Work with a reputable auction house. Don't just list it on eBay. $1,000,000 coins need expert handling and private bidders, and whatever you do, don't let anyone talk you into a lowball offer. Know what you have, because knowledge is money. A single 1973D Lincoln Memorial penny, the kind that's been sitting in change jars for 50 years, can be worth $1.2 million, and right now, there are fewer than 10 confirmed examples of these high-value varieties. So if you're someone who grew up tossing pennies into a coffee tin, if you've got old coins from your father's drawer, if you've got a metal detector and a few acres of land, you might be sitting on a gold mine. This isn't a fantasy. It's real. It's happening. And it's time you started looking, because the next millionaire might not be on Wall Street. He might be watching this video with a penny in his pocket. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who still thinks pennies are worthless. Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change just might be hiding a fortune. If you've ever glanced at a humble old penny and thought, it's just 1 cent, well, today's story is going to flip that idea on its head. Because we're talking about a very specific coin, the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. And now, you may have some loose change sitting in a drawer. Maybe some old coins in a coffee can in the garage. But what if I told you that one of those coins could be worth over $1.3 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1967 penny, the kind you might pass by without a second glance, has been valued on the coin market at a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. And no, this isn't a fairy tale. It's real. It's happened. And it could happen again. So don't go anywhere, because over the next 30 minutes, we're diving deep into the mystery, the money, the metal, and the madness of the $1 million 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And somewhere in this story, you're going to find out exactly what to look for. To understand why this penny is so valuable, we first need to go back in time. The year is 1967. Lyndon B. Johnson is in the White House. The Vietnam War is raging. Elvis just got married. The world was changing fast, and so was the US Mint. In the mid-1960s, America was facing a coin shortage. Silver coins were being hoarded like crazy. In response, the US government made some major changes. One of those changes was dropping mint marks from coins altogether between 1965 and 1967. That means for 3 years, no coins carried the telltale P, D, or S mint marks. So, every 1967 Lincoln penny you find shouldn't have a mint mark, and that's normal. But there's more to this story than that. You see, during this time of chaos at the mint, a lot of irregularities slipped through the cracks. Coins were struck on wrong planchets, some had doubling, others were made with leftover blanks from foreign coinage contracts. Mistakes were made, and collectors today are reaping the rewards. That's where our $1 million penny enters the scene. One particular 1967 penny turned up years ago, and experts were stunned. It looked different. The color was slightly off. The weight? A tiny bit lighter than standard. And under magnification, the details were just a bit sharper than usual. It turned out this coin had been struck on a bronze planchet with an extremely rare die variety, a combination of errors in near-perfect condition that created one of the most valuable pennies ever recorded. Now, why would a bronze planchet matter? Well, in 1967, pennies were supposed to be made from a mix of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to leftover foreign planchets and transitional experiments happening in mint facilities, some coins slipped through with slightly different compositions. These coins are like genetic mutations, rare, accidental, but incredibly valuable. This particular penny was found not in a private auction, but in an old collection passed down through a family. That coin later hit the auction block and fetched a staggering $1.3 million. 1 cent. Turned into $1 million fortune. Now you're probably wondering, what exactly made that coin so special? Stay with me, we're getting to that. This is where you start digging through your change jar. When you're looking at 1967 Lincoln pennies, there are a few key things to look for that could make the difference between 1 cent and 6 figures. The condition. Grade matters. A penny in mint state 67 or higher is incredibly rare. That means no scratches, no fingerprints, no stains, just a flawless, shiny surface like it just left the press. Look for doubling. Known as doubling or a doubled die, this is when the coin's image appears to be doubled due to a slight misalignment in the die. On the 1967 penny, check Lincoln's eye, the letters in Liberty, and especially In God We Trust. Third, unusual coloring or planchet composition. If your penny looks off darker, lighter, more golden, or more red, it could be an error coin. Sometimes a penny is mistakenly struck on a dime planchet or even a foreign coin blank. These are exceedingly rare and can be worth tens or hundreds of thousands. Weight. If you have a jewelry scale or a coin scale, weigh your penny. The standard weight for a 1967 penny is about 3.11 grams. If yours is way off, say, closer to 2.5 grams, you may have something very rare on your hands. And now, I know what you're thinking. What if I've already spent one of these without knowing? Well, that leads us to the next surprising chapter in this story. Believe it or not, there have been folks, everyday people just like you and me, who found rare coins in the most unexpected places. There's the story of an auto mechanic in Ohio who discovered a rare 1967 penny mixed in with a customer's cup holder change. He thought it looked funny, saved it, and later got it appraised. Result? Over $100,000. Another tale comes from a retired veteran who went through his childhood coin collection during the pandemic lockdowns. Tucked in the back of a dusty album? A perfect grade 1967 no-mint mark penny with doubling on the obverse. He sold it and used the money to pay off his mortgage. They're reminders that the next big discovery could be sitting on your dresser right now. And the best part? It costs you nothing to check, but we're not done yet. Because before you go digging, you need to know exactly how to verify your coin and avoid getting scammed. Don't clean it. Seriously. Do not rub, polish, or wash the coin. Cleaning a rare coin can destroy thousands of dollars in value instantly. Get it graded. You'll want to send it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will authenticate, grade, and encapsulate your coin, giving it official recognition and market value. Auction or sell smart. Don't rush to a pawn shop or local dealer. Instead, consider working with a reputable auction house that specializes in rare coins. Heritage auctions, Stacksbowers, or even eBay, if done carefully, can be excellent options. Avoid scammers. If someone offers you a few $100 cash on the spot, don't take it. Rare coins are a long game, and knowledge is your biggest weapon. And finally, remember that even if your penny isn't the $1 million one, it might still be worth hundreds or even thousands. There are collectors out there who specialize in these varieties. So always do your homework before letting a rare piece of history go. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, often overlooked, usually dismissed, has proven that even the smallest, most ordinary-looking coin can be worth a life-changing fortune. With just the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical quirks, it can transform from pocket change to millionaire status. If you're a man in your 30s, 40s, or even your 70s, whether you've been collecting for decades or just stumbled upon this video, there's no better time to start looking through those coins. The next great discovery is out there. It might be sitting in a mason jar on your shelf. It might be resting under your car seat. It might even be in your wallet right now. So grab a magnifying glass, get curious, and most importantly, keep checking. Because your $1 million moment might be closer than you think. Thanks for watching, and if this video inspired you to take a second look at your coins, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. We've got more stories of hidden treasures, rare finds, and coin secrets coming your way. Let me ask you something. Have you ever held a penny in your hand and wondered if it might be worth more than just 1 cent? What if I told you that a plain old copper-colored coin from 1978, with no mint mark at all, could be hiding in your change jar, in your dresser drawer, or at the bottom of your glove compartment, and it's worth not just hundreds or thousands, but $1.4 million? Now, I know it sounds almost unbelievable. After all, it's just a penny. But sometimes, what looks ordinary turns out to be extraordinary if you know what to look for. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most valuable and intriguing pennies in U.S. coin history, the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. We'll explore what makes it so special, how to identify a genuine $1 million version, and why collectors are lining up with open wallets and big checkbooks to get their hands on one. And believe me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because there's a twist that could make you see every single penny in your home in a completely different light. Disco was in full swing, gas was under $1 a gallon, and Americans were filling their pockets with change that most people didn't. think twice about. But nestled among those everyday coins was something that would fly under the radar for decades. A small number of Lincoln Memorial cents minted in Philadelphia had no mint mark at all. That wasn't unusual for Philly coins at the time, they rarely had mint marks. But something was different about these specific 1978 cents. First, they were struck with an unusually sharp design, almost proof-like in quality. Second, many of them were minted with exceptionally rare die varieties that only the sharpest eyes could catch. And third, and here's the kicker, one batch included a critical error that sent its value skyrocketing into the millions. We'll get to that. But first, we need to understand what makes a regular penny turn into a priceless collector's gem. Not every 1978 penny is valuable. In fact, most of them are worth exactly 1 cent. But the rarest ones, especially the no-mint mark variations with a die doubling error, command top dollar. In simple terms, it's when the coin is struck more than once by the die, but slightly misaligned each time. This causes a shadow or doubling effect on the lettering or numbers. On some of these 1978 pennies, collectors noticed the date itself, 1978, appeared to be doubled, along with the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see that kind of doubling, your coin just jumped from 1 cent to life-changing money. The coin's reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial, may also show signs of doubling in the columns or the base. And if your coin has that along with a clean strike, minimal wear, and strong luster, you might just be holding a piece of copper that's worth more than some Ferraris. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some of these pennies were made on the wrong planchet, meaning they were struck on a foreign coin blank or an old leftover disc from a previous minting run. That kind of minting mistake? Extremely rare. And extremely profitable. Hold on to that thought. Because what I'm about to share next might make you tear apart your old change jar by the time this video is over. You don't need to be a professional coin collector to stumble across a $1 million penny. In fact, some of the biggest finds in the past decade came from garage sales, estate auctions, and even yard cleanups. Take the story of a retired truck driver from Ohio who discovered a rare 1978 no-mint mark penny tucked in a coffee can that had sat in his garage since 1982. He had no idea what he had until his grandson asked to take it to a school coin club. A local dealer spotted it, confirmed the die doubling, and just like that, the family was sitting on a 7-figure coin. And it's not just Ohio. These pennies have turned up in Florida flea markets, Arizona swap meets, and even inside old cash registers from mom-and-pop diners. The point is, these coins are out there. They're not locked away in a museum or hidden by billionaires. They're sitting in places just like your home. And with a sharp eye, a little knowledge, and a lot of luck, they could be yours. But before you grab a magnifying glass and start hunting, there's something else you need to know. Because finding one of these coins is just the first step. Of the real money comes when you know how to verify it and sell it without getting scammed. So, let's say you find a 1978 no-mint mark penny with doubling on the date and lettering. It looks promising. Don't clean the coin. That's right. No soap, no toothbrush, no polish. Collectors want originality, even if it means the coin is dirty. A cleaned coin loses value instantly. Get a coin microscope or jeweler's loupe. This will help you examine the small details like the doubling on the text or minting errors. Consult the pros. You want your coin graded and authenticated by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give your coin an official grade, confirm its error type, and issue a certificate, which turns a suspected valuable coin into a verified investment. Once it's graded, you can sell it through auctions, private collectors, or major coin shows. But here's the cliffhanger. Do you know the one mistake many sellers make that costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars? We'll get into that next. Because knowing the value is one thing. Knowing how to get every penny of it, that's where the real wealth is built. So you've got the coin. It's verified. It's worth a fortune. Now comes the final boss, selling it smart. Some folks make the mistake of listing $1 million coins on online auction sites without any expert representation. That's like selling a diamond ring at a garage sale. You're not going to get top dollar. The smart move is to go through established rare coin auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. These platforms not only attract serious collectors but also provide legal documentation, security, and international visibility. Never accept the first offer, even from a dealer. Always get multiple valuations, and always ask for a copy of any offer in writing. Timing is everything. the coin market moves in waves. Right now, collectible coin values are rising sharply thanks to renewed interest from millennials, international investors, and even crypto millionaires trying to diversify. That means your moment could be now. But just before we wrap up, there's one final piece to this story. One more reason why this penny might be more than just a lucky find. You see, the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just about the money. It's about the thrill of the hunt. The excitement of knowing that something so small could change your life. It's about preserving history, discovering treasure, and maybe even handing down a story that your grandkids will talk about long after you're gone. You don't need a coin collection to strike gold. You just need awareness, curiosity, and a little patience. So before you toss the jar of coins or ignore that old penny on the sidewalk, take a second look. The next $1 million penny could be hiding in plain sight, and when you do find one, you'll remember this video. And maybe, just maybe, you'll send me a thank you postcard from your new beach house. Thanks for watching, and good luck treasure hunting. Don't forget to subscribe, because next time, we're diving into a coin that's even rarer, and it just might be hiding inside your pocket change right now. Hey there, fellas. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe in the garage or in that rusty old cigar box Grandpa left you. You reach in, and out comes a dusty old penny. You flip it, see that it's a 1949 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, and boom, you toss it in the change jar. Nothing special, right? Well, what if I told you that very penny could be worth $1.5 million? Stick around, because today we're going to take a deep dive into one of the rarest and most valuable pennies floating out there, the 1949 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny. A coin hiding in plain sight. We'll cover everything from what makes it rare, how to spot one, how to sell it, and the shocking reason why some collectors are paying over $1 million for a single coin. And trust me, you're going to want to stay until the very end, because one detail, often overlooked by even experienced collectors, could be the key to unlocking the full value of this coin. Let's get into it. A retired Army mechanic from Ohio used to spend his weekends browsing flea markets and estate sales. Nothing serious, just a hobby to kill time after retirement. One Saturday, he bought an old wooden box filled with odds and ends. Inside was a handful of pennies. He almost tossed them, but something about one of the pennies looked off. Worn but shiny, with Lincoln's profile staring straight back at him. It was a 1949 wheat penny. No mint mark. Just like a million others, except it wasn't. After a little research and a couple of calls to some coin folks, Bill learned that the penny in his hand could be one of only a few ultra-rare error strike versions. Fast forward 6 months, that same penny sold to a private collector for over $1 million, and the crazy part? He almost dropped it back into circulation. Let's break it down. First, the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny was minted just after World War II. The country was still recovering, metal was being repurposed, and the US Mint was experimenting with planchets, the blank discs that become coins now. While the Philadelphia Mint produced most of these pennies and didn't use a mint mark, most of the 1949 issues were pretty standard. But a very small number were struck with subtle differences, misalignments, double dies, and in rare cases, leftover planchets from earlier years. We're talking about errors so subtle they could easily go unnoticed unless you know exactly what to look for. And in this video, we're going to tell you exactly what those clues are. But first, a little history. Abraham Lincoln's face first appeared on the penny in 1909, marking 100 years since his birth. That year, the wheat reverse was introduced. 2 sheaves of wheat, flanking the words 1 cent. Simple. Beautiful. Symbolic of American growth. By 1949, Lincoln's image was a familiar sight, but the world was different. Soldiers were coming home. Factories were shifting from bombs to baby bottles. And the mint? Well, they were under pressure to save money, save metal, and move fast. During that year, coins were struck quickly and in large quantities. But machines weren't perfect. And that's where the magic happens, because in 1949, some pennies were printed with off-center strikes, doubled features, or pressed on steel planchets left over from the war, and one of those coins, the type my friend Bill found, can fetch upwards of $1.5 million today. I spoke with a coin grading expert, a gentleman by the name of Richard Lowe, who's been in the numismatic field for over 30 years. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see shadows or doubling, that's huge. A penny with Lincoln's head shifted to one side? That's an error worth serious cash. Sometimes the 1949 was punched more than once, and if the numbers look stacked or ghosted, that's a rare find. Pieces of metal flaking or missing? That could mean you've got a 1 in a million coin. Some 1949 pennies were struck using leftover steel planchets from 1943. And if you happen to find a 1949 penny that sticks to a magnet? You may be holding one of the rarest coins in American history, but that's not the only thing that makes this penny worth so much. There's a theory among collectors that a small batch of 1949 pennies were never meant to be released to the public. Some say they were test strikes, others claim they were accidental, pressed during a machine reset or minted during an unauthorized night shift. These mystery coins have been popping up in the most unexpected places. A Pennsylvania attic. A box of books in a Missouri barn. Even in a child's piggy bank in Michigan, each one different. Each one rared. It was graded MS-68 by PCGS, almost flawless, and brought in over $1.5 million at auction. Now think about that for a second. That's more than a Lamborghini, a beach house, and a year off work for a single penny that could be hiding in your change jar right now. First, grab a magnifying glass and inspect that 1949 wheat penny closely. If anything seems off, take it to a local coin shop or send it into PCGS or NGC for grading. These folks will verify the authenticity and rarity of your coin. Once it's graded, you're in business. List it through auction houses, coin expos, or direct collectors markets. And make sure to set a reserve price, because if you've really got one of the $1 million coins, there will be buyers. Before we wrap this up, let me leave you with this. In 2024, a man in Florida found a 1949 wheat penny in the cushions of his father's old recliner. It was rusty, dirty, and nearly forgotten. But that tiny coin sold for over $1 million, because it was the only known example struck on a leftover silver blank from a pre-1965 dime, and no one knows how many more are out there. So before you roll your eyes at that old penny on the floorboard of your truck or the one stuck behind your dresser, take a moment. Take a closer look, because that 1 cent could be worth millions. Thanks for sticking around, guys. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. More $1 million stories are just around the corner.